From Los Angeles and Nashville, get ready to go behind the scenes with Entertainment Dudes. What happens when you pair a director, a voice actor, in a world, and some of the most interesting people in entertainment? You're about to find out. Jason, we're on. Hey, you're wearing the same shirt you did last time. So am I.
Last time? What are you talking about? You
Hold
need to change the shirt. Come on,
know.
dude.
This is not professional.
Just put it over the top. Yeah.
This has got to,
Yeah.
do this every time.
I have an
forget
excuse.
to change.
I
I
have an
change
excuse.
exclusively for this show.
On
There
the
we
show,
go.
apparently. There we go.
Yes,
You don't
on the
look
show. I'll
completely
wear
different.
2 shirts.
Do you have double collars?
I've got double collars. That's a new thing.
I'm sure that's gonna catch like
Is that
wildfire.
good? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Entertainment Dudes. I'm Cam Cornelius, the voiceover dude.
And I'm Jason Crossman, the director, dude. And we're here to bring you another exciting episode of Entertainment Dudes.
Yes, if you're catching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell icon for notifications. And if you're catching us anywhere on any fine purveyor of podcasts like Spotify or anywhere else, please subscribe.
Yes, and if you happen to like our incredible work, I'm just very, very proud of this shirt because it just came.
Look at this.
And it's got our faces on it. You probably saw the last episode. I was wearing this. I don't know.
That's right.
It depends
Our
which one we
faces,
do
like
first,
we
but
designed the shirt, but like the faces are right over
the
Jason's nipples.
nipples.
So
I guess you have to stretch them a little bit. Now they
probably,
are.
yeah, I don't know. But merch.entertainmentdudes.com. Today, we've got a great show for you.
Oh, we're excited. Very excited.
Fabulous friends of mine. They are known collectively as the Booth of Us. Jay Preston and his lovely significant other, Meg, are joining us on the show. There they are. Nice.
I was waiting for jazz hands too.
We made it to your show.
Hats. See, we were talking about the hats before. I love it. I just absolutely love these things. Who else could wear a hat like this, seriously, and get away with it? I
know,
one.
man.
You guys could, just saying.
No, I have a pinhead. Like, I have a very narrow face, and so if I wear a big hat, I look literally like Gumby. Like if I turn sideways, no. I can't get away with that. But you look good, both of you.
Jay can get away with
quite.
anything. I think there was one time where he went to an audition dressed entirely as a pirate in character.
I did, yeah.
And he can get away with that kind of stuff.
You did to an audition?
Yeah, well, it
That's
was for a pirate thing.
I would
but
say related to the pirate thing or just random?
Yeah, no. It was for it. You know how everyone like just shows up in like a black shirt so they can be anybody?
Yeah, boring.
That pirate shit.
And you got the gig, I hope.
Yeah, I did actually.
Brilliant. Then it worked. Like we did kind of want to cast a doctor, but now that we've seen this, we're going to go pirate.
Wow.
Pirate now.
We are changing the script.
All right. Well, tell us about the two of you and the Booth of Us. It's a pretty cool selling point and great for clients, I would think, to
Speaking
have
of merch,
a male and female voice that they can book together. So talk about that.
Yeah. Well, Meg's a on-camera actress, and so when we first met, she was pretty much just doing that plus some side jobs, so that she
Right.
had like
3 or 4 side jobs.
And I had recently, 2 years prior, finally quit my side job to do voice acting full time. So I had already gotten it, but I had already tried voice acting for 8, maybe 5 years prior to that, just
Right.
getting into it and still having a side job. And so we met at a great time because then I would have to go to all of her side jobs with her to wait for her to be done at this bar or, wherever it was. And I was like, I really hate doing this. And I was like, and she's so talented. I was like, there's no reason why she should be doing this. So I just got her in the booth and I started to send, if I saw an audition from an agent or something that said that had male or female, I would just have her record it and I'd send it in.
Brilliant.
And I kept doing that. And the agents kept being like, can we sign her? And so
You directed all my stuff though.
yeah, I directed her from the get-go.
Nice.
The beginning of a relationship, how it's you guys you love each other so much that it's you can learn stuff from your significant other and they can learn from you, right? So it was a good
that goes away after the first one.
Exactly.
2 weeks, I think it is. I already know everything now.
What to do?
Yeah. So now I can't even direct her anymore. She gets mad.
No.
Now she's an expert. So it's like, I don't, nothing I say matters. But anyway, we got her rolling, and she got to quit her job like 6 months after we started working.
Yeah.
Oh, that feels good.
She's been full-time since
It's amazing.
then. And
Thank gosh.
yeah, and then I was like, we should, because this is working really well, we should do some type of like business thing. And then we like fell in love over puns as well. So like, she's a huge punner. She's better at punning than I am. And she's like,
I like puns.
That's like the first thing she thought of. And I was like, that's brilliant. If it's available, I'm buying it and I'm starting this. And it was available online, boothofus.com. And
That's great.
Yeah. They were the only there was one Booth of Us on Instagram, but it was like a
wedding photo booth thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't count.
Didn't count. So now it's Booth of Us VO on Instagram. And yeah. But
you guys reminded me, like I've got an account that I just set aside on Twitter and I haven't done anything with it. It's called Partly Punny. And yeah.
Do it.
Partly
Oh,
funny.
yeah.
Okay, let's fill it with puns. Yeah. Today
That's
it's partly
awesome.
funny. So yeah,
Oh,
I'll have to do
man.
something with that.
I remember we were on the show, on the Dave Ramsey show, and he and another guy, Connor, were on it all nonstop puns, always. It didn't matter if somebody said one word. It was just like, and then one would do, and then another, and another, and another.
Volley back and forth.
And our executive producer's like,
They don't have a word with you.
Oh,
That's
it was
hilarious.
great.
So Jay, we met up way back and through the Voiceover Collective.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that whole group and how that started and what it's evolved into?
Yeah, the Voiceover Collective started because I'm just really bad at like making connections and remembering people's faces.
Right.
And I remember their faces, but I don't remember their names. And then so Facebook, I was like when Facebook groups first kind of started, and I was like, well, I could just put people that I like from workshops and class. Like I was going to workshops like crazy when I was getting into voiceover, and always like going to different places and like seeing super talented people and being like, I want to learn more from them. So I'd like to remember who they are, where they go next, so I can just go. Because sometimes, in classes, you learn from the people taking the class almost as much as the person teaching it.
Yes.
Mm.
So like I wanted to go to classes where I could learn from people who were better than me. So like I'd always like try to grab them and be like, where are you going to go next? And I'm going to sign up for that too. What do you know? And then I'm just like extra learning. But anyway, I joined this, I started this Facebook group called the Voiceover Collective, and it was like 10 people, then it was 20, and then it was 30. And then I was like, maybe we should do like weekly get-togethers. We talk about the industry and stuff. And then we did like weekly get-togethers at bars and wine places. And then it grew to like 100, and then it grew to like 200. And then I was like, and then I because I was handpicking, and it was like, it was a private group and not everyone could get in because not everyone's like-minded. And I wanted just to fill it with like-minded people who support each other and don't try to like poach and aren't there just to get an audition or, you know what I mean? Like, and LA's full of people like that. So, but then it just started to get and then I met Tim Friedlander, and then he already had a group, and then so his
Gardner
group
Street
kind of started to merge together, and then it was like 500 people, and I was like, I can't deal with it.
I'm back to where I can't remember anyone's face and name again.
Yeah, and then I back to the original problem. I can't remember anyone's name or face, and then a lot of dramas just started to like trickle in. So like it wasn't weekly like fun stuff. It was weekly like dealing with people's crap, and so. And Tim's way better at that. So Tim is now, they turned the Gardner Street and the VO Collective into Gardner Collective. So now he runs the social media aspect and I'm out of it. And I run the website, which I have improved like dramatically over the last 2 years, the voiceovercollective.com. And it's getting better and better. And we got some cool news coming out this year that I'm excited to share on there. And the newsletter has like thousands of people on it where I can put stuff on and do every now and then we get opportunities through the Booth of Us for like clients need extra voices that aren't just us.
Right.
Shucks. So I can reach out to that network and kind of find voices for my clients and things.
The Voiceover Collective website, I mean, it's a treasure trove of information for new voice actors to seasoned, voice actors. And thank you for listing the podcast on the site.
Yeah.
But you've got, somebody can go and find a demo producer, or they can, find information about starting out in voiceover. I mean, all that kind of thing. Tell me about the resource and why you put those resources together for people.
Because I like helping people. So
Right.
people would always be like, "Oh, I'd like to learn about voiceover and try to get into that." And then I'd be back in the day, it was like, "All right, well, just how about buy me a glass of wine and I'll tell you as much until that glass is gone, and then you can buy me another one if you want more information."
That's right. We've had some wine together. Yep.
Yeah. I would just do it that way, and then it just got too much. But so I decided to make a place where anything I would ever tell anyone and any equipment I'd ever say, you should probably look at these equipment, I would just put on the website. So then I could just send them there. And now I can say, when people all the time say, could you let us know about voiceover? I send them there. I say, if you need to know anything after that, we'll have a bottle of wine. But usually they get there and it's plenty of, go to the VO education page and you can and I set it up in like how I learned: workshops first, then classes, then you get your agents, and then there's more, so I've kind of set it up, and it's kind of a no-fail thing if you really mean it.
Equipment tiers too, which are great for like your different levels of.
Yeah, and the equipment page has the home studio tiers and the travel studio tiers, and then it's kind of set up that way too, like the best of the best that you need and the stuff you can get away with. Like I think I started on a Blue Yeti.
Yeah. Again, yes, great resource, and I always point them to this resource when they're interested in voiceover, because it's just everything you could want right there.
Yeah. Every month I update that front page just for whatever's new in my mind and what's going on.
Here's a very important card: voiceover rates. Stand up for your rates. Here's your union rate guide right here. Non-union rate
and
guide.
Cast Voices. We've had Liz on the show.
Yeah, we had Liz on the show.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So, all these great resources that, if you're in voiceover, are very instrumental for you to take advantage of.
Yeah. Thanks for the plug, VO Collective plug.
Whoa, what's going on here too? A little meta. Okay, there we go.
I don't know how to share the screen without sharing everything, but I guess here you go. I had to make sure I cleaned my desktop up first, as I'm like, I don't know if people can see that because that's proprietary.
So you used to be very active on social media, and you made a decision a while back to kind of unplug and experience life. Can you tell me about that? Because I do see pictures of you at different places around the country and traveling and enjoying each other in different locations and still doing VO while doing all that. How does that work, and what's it been like for you?
It's been a blast. And last year we went to 27 different states.
Yeah, 27 states over 6 months, and constantly working every week.
You take your booth with you, or how do you do that?
We built it's like a 45-pound booth that fits in like a 6-foot duffel bag.
Yeah.
That I put together, and it takes like 45 minutes to put it together. Like a minute a pound, and then once it's up, it mimics the booth from home. Here. So it took me a long time to figure out how to do that. But it's like, so I'll use the 416 here a lot, but we'll take the 416 with us because it's a beast. There it is. That looks just like that.
Yeah.
Wait, what mic is that?
The Sennheiser 416.
Sennheiser 416. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So
what is that? So weird.
It's been working great. The only problem is we have to make sure we find hotel rooms that are big enough to fit, because it ends up being 5 by 7.
Oh wow, yeah. That's a nice size.
Yeah, and it has room to breathe, because that's one of the biggest problems with hotels and Airbnbs. It's like if you're building a tiny little thing, your voice is going to go through that, bounce back off the wall and come back. But if your voice has a space to go before it hits the little walls you've built up, it kind of softens. And when it bounces back, you don't hear it. So
also noisy neighbors.
Yeah, noisy neighbors.
I would imagine too, if that's important, because I know you work on certain campaigns, or you might have to do a pickup, and you might be in a different location, so you need the acoustics to match.
Yeah, you need to kind of match. Yeah, and so far, this last year we've realized that it matches pretty darn well. So
yeah.
That one time we didn't tell our agents.
Yeah, we did. Now that our agents do it, but we didn't even tell them we left for a month at the end of last year. We just went to Napa for a month, and we didn't really tell them, and it didn't matter because everything worked out.
No, I'm just fascinated by the whole process of how you approach different characters and stuff. So, what is the difference between prepping for a commercial versus prepping for a game, or what, how do you prepare for each of these different roles? And is there something different you do for each of them?
I'll let you, because Meg she does a lot of work with her on-camera stuff, and she brings that into the booth.
Okay, how's that different?
Characters, so.
Yeah. So lately, I mean, commercials been, like person off the street, like kind of off the cuff, not rehearsed, not announcery. So really, we just go in there and kind of, before we read the specs, we'll give one, just in our own conversational voice, like we're talking to a friend, and then read the specs and do something like that. And also, we watch a lot of commercials and stuff on like Hulu and looking up different commercials. And then for the video games and animation, what I've been learning in Leslie Kahn, where I'm studying currently for on camera, I bring that into video games and also animation in the sense that, the character, who I'm talking to, my thoughts in between, my moment before, like all of that. And that seems to help me a lot, like see it as a whole rather than just saying it kind of thing. So that's really been a game changer. I'm bringing that classwork into there because it makes it easier too, or it makes it feel like a real person rather than just lines I'm reading.
Yeah, I noticed the difference between, anyone could do a read, pick it up and do a read of how you think it is, but then add in an authenticity to it. You can tell there's a difference. Sometimes I think it's fun because it sounds like you're playing. So some voices like Cam was doing for the last voiceover session we had to talk about, he did a bunch of diseases and stuff, different diseases.
Oh, yeah.
And it just it's fun. And so they're bringing almost like a playful side to it. And those are caricatures that are brought. And then you have something where you're adding dynamic, there's an authenticity you can hear in the voice, even though I can't see you, that you can feel it. And so I was just wondering how, in that process, is it something that you like? Some people are like, I'm method, when I'm acting, or I'm Meisner, but in voiceover, there's not really that. I mean, is there a way to do it, or?
I mean, it's everyone's own person. But real quick, I just want to. This is like Meg's how much stuff she puts in her script.
Oh wow! See, that's an actor. That's what I'm used to as a director.
What I mean? Like, and I'm pretty much the opposite. Like it works wonders for her, and it's great. I'm kind of the opposite because I grew up improving. Like I've got like a huge improv background in life. So if I put things on a script, it kind of puts me into a, like I only do it that way. But if there's nothing in the script, it seems like it's an open bag, and I can improv stuff in, and I can free myself up to like always change things. And not that she doesn't improv either. Like she can do this and still improv. But for me, it's like, it's written down now. It's like a map. And now with nothing on the page, I'm already allowed to like say little things here and there and put little pieces in and bring it to life that way. So
that's
it's
really
like
cool. I think
every actor has their own way of preparing and acting.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of I don't know, you spend a lot of time around actors and different things and different ways of coaching. And I same with me, I did a lot of improv. That's where I came from. So for me, there's an authenticity in just improv. Even in life, I like to, even in a situation, you just start doing a character, you're hanging out together and you start acting the scene because it's fun, right? And and that's why I think I don't need to do a whole lot of for me, I don't have to like build a story. I just like, who is it? Who's the character? How do I feel? Like, okay, cool. I'll go with it. So, and I know some people are like, oh, that's not real. It's not authentic. I'm like, somebody who does it really, really well, I don't think you're gonna be able to tell the difference. And
I don't think so either. Yeah.
But but sometimes it's like, how do you connect? Like, can I cry on command? No. Like, can I?
Not all of
I can't. I can't do that. You can cry on command? Yeah, I can't either. Like, I'd have to like break some stuff inside before I could like just start crying. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that.
I think we were talking to Rob Simpaglia about this, about how important, whether it's improv or pre-preparedness, having a set of parameters and a subtext that you can go to bring that character to life.
Yeah, totally. Like if you have a good character background already, like laid out, like where your characters come from and what's their point of view on, even using that not just in video games, animation, your point of view when you do commercial stuff, like when you are the person talking and reading the commercial copy, what is your specific point of view that day?
And this commercial class I took recently, Killian's workshop, he was talking about like, what feeling does the commercial want to evoke? and what, when the person listens to that, you know, the client or whatever, or the audience, and what feeling do they is the client wanting to put on to the its audience. So kind of like love or adventure, and that helps a lot too.
And this goes
I
back
think even tone is important, like warmth.
Yeah.
Versus something that's like a little bit harder of a push. Like tone for me at direct, whenever I'm using voiceover talent, I like a tone. It's a tonal quality. It's the same when I'm listening to music or I'm adding music to a script, a piece I'm working on. Sometimes the music might sound, it doesn't work. It's not the tone. It doesn't feel right. And so for voiceover, that's the same thing that I look for when I'm doing that. It's like, right now it's more like I like warm tones. I like something that's relatable. Even if you're trying to sell, there's a relatability to it. So it's like, you know, when you and I are sitting down, there's this conversational aspect that's just like a give and take, and even feeling that, that's something that I look for. I like it. And
I love that.
And you were saying, Cam, you asked me earlier about like jumping off the social media world.
Yes.
You know, because you know very well, I was very much all over the social. I even taught classes on social media marketing. Like
I know, I used to ask you social media questions.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hey guys, I'm jumping off this.
Bye. Yeah. So she pretty much, Meg handles our like both of us social media, and I'm pretty much off it. And I'm on LinkedIn as the both of us now, and I'm trying to do just business, no friendsy stuff, no family stuff, just like business connections and things like that. So, and that's even hard because like I like being away and just getting away. Like when we first met, we'd always go off on adventures, and it was like so much fun, and my quality of life started to lift, you know. And the more places we went, the more things we traveled, the more time I wasn't spending on our phones. Like we were just having a good life. And what I realized with that is that it makes all of my reads and everything just better all the time. And as I'm getting older, I'm booking more things that are, you know, storyteller, well-traveled, you know, all that kind of stuff. And if you don't do that stuff, you will never read the way that a well-traveled story, like someone who is always out and about talks. You know, it's like, at least I think so. And it's really, proofs in the booking. I mean, the pudding. So,
That's punny.
But so I think it's just better, you know. And she's really good at she handles social media really good. She does it quickly, and
I'm not on it. I'm not on it that much
she's
either.
not on it that much.
in and out.
She's like, boop, boop, I just got to do this really quick thing, and then we're off, you know. And I realize also I haven't missed a damn thing. And if anyone wants to get in touch with me and like update me on their life, they can call me, which is really cool. My family calls me more. You know, they're just not like because I think family thinks that if you made an update or you liked something, you're up to date on all their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and now that they don't know what's going on, they have to call to find out, and it's kind of a better communication.
We haven't heard from you in like 2.5 hours. You haven't posted. What's wrong? Are you okay? Yeah, I think one thing for me that got me started on getting off of social is because I one time I picked up my phone and Apple had a notification that says your screen time is up. That's why I was like, how much time did I spend looking at this stupid thing? I said delete. I just went, I delete. I think I have 2 pages of apps now, and they're like they're mostly tools, and I have like gone. I thought, oh my gosh,
you know, and you're way more productive without it. Like we do more work, we get more auditions done, we get, you know.
Yeah, when you see that time, how much time you spent though, I know what you're talking about. It's like, oh man, what are you doing?
Yeah, and then I can't remember what I spent. Like I spent that much time. I don't even remember what I looked at. Like I remember one thing I looked at. The rest of it I don't even remember. I was like, oh my gosh, it's literally like a suck of your soul goes into a parallel dimension and time just flies by, and then your body gets dumped back in real life, and you're like, and you have a hangover, and you're like, I don't want to deal with people in real life because now my head's full.
And then somehow you're getting advertised the things you need somehow.
Yeah.
Scary. Even if I have a conversation, like my wife, I'm like, oh, we need to pick up this thing for the fireplace because it's cracked. And I come over here. That's the
scary thing.
And it's like, whoop, it's like fireplace repair stuff. I'm like, no.
Wait, what?
No. I'm not going to buy this just because you creeped me out. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my wife's like, I like it. They're selling me things that I care about and I want. I'm like, why wouldn't I want that? I'm like, yeah, but they're like spying on you.
To us.
Yeah, we have a debate about it. I'm like, don't don't look at this. They're going to keep tracking your stuff. Like, hide it. Like, you could use a VPN. You could do this. Like, she's like, no, I mean, I like when they show me things I want to see. So I'm like here in a bunker building a Faraday cage. I've got like my VPN on. I've cut off everything. And she's just like, hi, world. Here we are. I'm like,
What are some of the things you have to do with that lifestyle as far as making sure your quality is there, making sure you stay in touch with agents, and that keeping that balance? How do you do that?
Yeah, that is the tough part. And that is, you have to always, I mean, we can't just go somewhere with like just us. We have to like bring like a crap load of equipment. And we have to make sure it's going to work. So the most stressful part of traveling while doing voiceover is packing, knowing where you're going to go is going to be quiet.
With good Wi-Fi.
With that's making sure you can get like a top floor away from a highway. You know, it's like so much, and you're so stressed until you get to the room and realize it can work.
Yeah.
You know, and as soon as it can work and the booth's set up and everything works fine, it's like, oh, we can relax.
Wow.
But it's stressful. It's super stressful. When we did the road trip because we were both in a film in North Dakota last year, and we road tripped it because we got to bring the booth, and that's
what a ride. Yeah.
Was it 35 or 65 pound booth? 65 pounds because it doesn't
65
go.
Pounds,
It doesn't go with Southwest. You know, without paying a shitload. So we put it in the back of the car, and we went through some national parks. We got all the way to North Dakota, but
gorgeous. What a ride.
Was a stressful, you know, is the booth going to get set up, you know?
And that Spearfish Canyon day.
Tell them about Spearfish Canyon.
We were almost to where we were going in North Dakota. So we stopped at the Spearfish Canyon Lodge in South Dakota. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. But they only had, so Sturgis was going on too, and we had sessions. And so all these motorcycles were coming in.
Oh my God.
Motorcycles. And then, but they're already full because of Sturgis. And so we finally found like the last 2 rooms, but they were in different rooms. So we had sessions both days. So we had to put up the booth and take it down. And they had this plaque on the door that said, if you're not out by 11, you're getting charged for the room another day.
Oh, geez.
With people like knocking on the door telling us to leave.
She had a session starting at 11.
At 11?
Oh,
we had to go down and like pull the water. And then we had another session a couple hours later. So we had to take down the whole booth and set it back up into another room.
Upstairs. So we were on the first floor, and then we had to bring it all the way up to the second story. So that, you know, those things that they can, and the motorcycles, they can cut into your vacation time. But it's like also what we do for work. So it's like, we're not really people are like, oh, you just vacationed for 6 months. It's like, no, we worked.
Right.
It's like,
and also it's good to be like, so here's the other thing too. Like, even if we have these fun plans, right? If we book a job, we have to cancel all of our plans. And sometimes that always takes precedence over like going to do something fun, you know? So like we've been in Napa before other times, and we've had to miss a whole day of like wine drinking and stuff just to do some work, which is fine.
Yeah, first world problems.
Yeah,
really.
exactly.
I mean,
the voiceover would be really interesting.
Yeah.
It'd be really interesting voiceover if you did the wine drinking first.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're like, we're gonna need you to re-record that, or they're perfect. We loved it.
When we got to North Dakota, we realized another big issue that we hadn't come across was that the Wi-Fi. So if the Wi-Fi in the place doesn't work, we usually will use our 5G hotspot on our phones, and those have gotten so good that like almost better than Wi-Fi sometimes. And it's a straight connection, so it's not too much interference. Well, T-Mobile didn't have any service there. Verizon did.
Nothing, not even any bars.
So Meg had to go while I was on set to Verizon and get one of those like Verizon hotspots. That's another $100 a month. But now we had, you know, a T-Mobile hotspot, a Verizon hotspot, a hotel. So we had to cover our bases in order to like do work.
And it worked. I mean, because that's a good backup.
That's actually a very good idea.
It helps because then you don't have to stress about the fact, you know, if the Wi-Fi is going to be, if it is spotty, then it's nice that you have your own Wi-Fi.
Yeah. What about Starlink? Have you thought about that?
On my phone, I've got AT&T and T-Mobile, so 2 different services, and dual SIM, and I'm able to use the hotspot on the road. Yeah.
I think when Starlink comes out, it's going to be a really big game changer for like us traveling actors, because then it's that same connection no matter where you go, and it'll be great too when you're traveling through the lovely Arizona.
Oh yeah, or yeah,
or
yeah.
what's the long? Anyways, but
Utah.
Utah had like
Utah, Arizona, New Mexico.
Yep.
All of
Any
those
of them.
miles, because I've you know, spent a lot of time driving across the United States myself, and there are times where you'll get stranded if you don't get gas because there's no gas station for the next 85 or 100 miles.
Yeah, New
And-
Mexico
and-
is huge. That if you hit New
Exactly.
Mexico past that top, it just I was like 60 miles. The gas, oh, we're fine. It's half tank. We're like,
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
where's the gas station?
I imagine too, you guys in your travels are exposed to a lot of different personalities and accents and people.
Oh,
Do you bring those into your repertoire? Like, do you meet people in your travels that help you in your job?
Like,
yeah.
we met this guy in Deadwood when we were going on that same road trip last year to North Dakota. And what an interesting guy. We met him at the old bar where Calamity Jane and
Bill
Hickok
got killed.
So we were there, and he was, we were drinking, and but this guy comes up, this like biker dude with all these like different pens, and then he's like, "Hey, how you guys doing?" And then he starts telling us that he makes like all these different
guns,
homemade weapons,
grenades,
and they were
Grenades.
underneath the ground, and but it was just like you never know who you're gonna meet. Like you meet,
Yeah,
he was
and
such an
then-
interesting character.
So you put that in the back pocket
Yeah.
for your next character you're gonna do. That there's your backstory. This guy who he's like a local he's the plumber,
He's a plumber.
Right.
and he also makes all this stuff,
He's
and he's got
awesome.
underground bases.
He was amazing. I love talking to him. I could talk to him all night.
Exploding gophers. Where do you see this?
One of
then
the
once
ones
you left,
I recently used was at the Tennessee State Fair, and there was this guy in the corn mill, and he literally talked like this, and it was and I was like, oh my gosh, listen to this guy's voice. I looked over to my wife, and I'm like, I like get my recording app on my phone and just start recording his voice, because this is like, oh my goodness. And I actually used it for a Minecraft game.
Nice.
So it was like
Yes.
exactly the character. But yeah, meeting people and the traveling gives you way more opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
I like it for script writing. So I'll go to like stores, a coffee shop, different places, and I just love listening to people. A lot of times I tell my film students, I'm like, the reason why your script doesn't sound good is because it's not how people talk. Like they don't say this kind of stuff. So what you need to do is you need to go sit somewhere in a public space and just listen to conversations, because you'll hear how people talk. And sometimes you'll find some really great lines. I've pulled amazing lines that I was like, that's hilarious. And I literally take a notebook and I just write those down, because I'm like, it's so freaking fun. Even situational, I'm like, the situation is funny. Like that's hilarious. And I think, what if he said this instead, or he did this? So then, I'll pull that stuff off. So I love it. I love being out there with people. I think for me, I've been in about 40 countries, I think, and I'm in most of the states. And so
Awesome.
traveling is like, there's no greater way to expand your understanding of humanity itself and of yourself than to put yourself in a place where you feel small and you don't know and you're discovering. So it leaves you kind of malleable and open to grow, really. And I think,
Totally.
so I find that to be my favorite part. And sometimes you get in a situation where like, that's a little uncomfortable. I don't exactly know. And you kind of feel like I wish I knew a little bit more. And then, but after you get into, especially if I go a place, I don't know the language, I don't know the people, like I don't even speak this language. So you get dropped off in the airport, everything's in the signs of that language, the directions. I'm like, I have no idea where to go. So I think just that aspect expands your ability to tell a story and to relate to people. I'm like, as storytellers, it's so important to please go outside of yourself, like see what's out there and be open to change, open to growing, and open to learning more about other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's cool.
I
I
always-
love that you've done that.
I always say you have like a bag of tricks, right? You have like a little magical bag of like tricks you can pull stuff from, but that bag needs to get refilled every like year or so.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're pulling the same tricks. So
Right.
it's there's got to be new characters and new ideas and new ways to talk. And as you get older, your voice changes. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
And
gotta-
I think I might get a little meta on this, but I really feel like human creativity, there's an energy that is also, it's almost, for me, it's like a God thing. I think at the beginning, like there's an energy in the universe that has creation itself endued in it. And I think it's like, have you ever noticed how someone has an idea on one side of the plane and someone else has the same idea similarly somewhere else? But I've also found that even when I'm traveling, there's almost a different creative energy or vibe I get from being in a different space. So sometimes just being in a different place gives me ideas and a creative energy that I didn't have when I was somewhere else. And I think there's also something about taking the burden off of yourself. Like when you are home, there's a responsibility. I have to pay the bills. I have to do this. This has to be done. But once you have left that, it's almost like, it's like the backpack is taken off for a minute and you you know what I'm talking about. It's like, oh my gosh, there's like, I feel free. Yeah. And the ideas just start coming. I was just like, I love it.
Yeah.
It's the best. Yeah, because at home you can think of other things to do. You know, like, oh, I have to clean. I have to do all this. Yeah.
It's always there, right? It's always, because there's always like in the back of your mind, even if you're relaxing, even a rest day, if you're home, there's like that thing on the corner, like, I got to fix that. That piece is falling off, or like, oh, there's dirt over there. Like I can't rest until that's swept up. And there's always this expectation you have to perform in some way. And so I find like when I'm finally outside, I actually rest. Like it's the one time I can actually kind of, I can rest. And the rest is short for me because I'm a crazy doer. Like I'm always going, but it's so invaluable, I think.
But you know, when you're arrested, you're rest assured.
Yes. When you're arrested,
That was a very arresting comment.
Okay, that's it.
Oh, come on. Wait.
Hey, come on, bring her back.
Cam,
that was rude. Why would you do that?
We're actually up on our time.
Okay.
Jay and Meg have a session to get to. So thank you so much for joining us. If people want to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
Go to theboothofus.com and check it out. Info at the Booth of Us gets to both of us. Or you can do Jay at the Booth of Us or Meg at the Booth of Us or info at the Voiceover Collective. And there's a whole bunch of places. Or you can buy our book.
Wait, you have a book?
Bears.
Is this a real book? Can you pull it up?
The
Quarantine
Bears.
The Quarantine Bears. Have you narrated this?
We haven't turned it into a thing yet though, but Meg
you gotta redo it.
Yeah.
Okay. When this is out, excellent. How long is it?
It's just a kid's book. It's just 19 pages.
Yeah.
And then we made a coloring book version that you can just color.
Nice. Where's this available?
Theboothofus.com.
All right.
You can go and click our kids book link.
Okay. We'll put links in the show notes. Awesome. Nice. Well, thanks guys. Thanks for letting us know how to do the VO while traveling correctly, and letting people know they don't have to be stuck at their home office all the time.
Yeah. And check out the Tula mic. It's a little tiny microphone that looks cool, but check that out because it has an amazing noise canceling, like a live noise canceling feature.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Amazing for auditions on the road.
Maybe we can review that, Cam. That'd be pretty cool.
I think so. That's great. We'll do a review on that.
The booking she has right now is we booked it the day after her birthday in the hotel room on
Happy
the Tula
birthday.
mic.
Thank you.
When was it? A while back?
Valentine's Day.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday.
I was hungover the next day.
So,
mine was on the
21 finally, right? That's amazing.
Oh, 21. Yes, how'd you know?
Yeah. Well, you said drinking. That's why I assume you were not an irresponsible drinker. I assumed that you waited till you were 21. There's no way you were older, so.
No way. And happy birthday to you too.
Thank you, December 11th. That was great.
Yep.
Happy
birthday. February 12th.
Oh, happy birthday.
And Jason contacted me like 2 days ago.
Jay, happy birthday to you as well.
Happy birthday, everybody. Yes. Big hug.
Bring it in. Well, this has been another episode of Entertainment Dudes. Excited you joined us and look forward to meeting you on the next podcast when we have some more exciting guests and you're going to learn more about life and what makes you incredible.
On Entertainment Dudes.
Bye, dude.
Entertainment